Why so serious?
Welcome to Moon's Fairy Tales. Today, we dive into the twisted streets of Gotham with the Killing Joke. In the aftermath of Batman's disappearance, what happens when the Joker escapes during Bane's siege, leaving the city in the hands of a broken protector? Nightwing rises to face Gotham's demons, but can he hold his ground against the chaotic mind of Joker? Don't forget to follow and subscribe to stay tuned on the new tales. Sit back, relax, and let Gotham's shadows pull you into the madness. Chapter 1: Escape. Arkham Asylum. The walls there, those walls, are alive with screams. They tell stories, even though no one listens. I always listen. Every scream, every muffled sob, every crackle of static from those ancient speakers dangling in the corners of the cells, they're music to me. And on this night, that music has reached its crescendo. Bane is tearing through Gotham like an unstoppable force. What a sight! What a beautiful masterpiece of destruction he's painting on that dreary, gray canvas. Gotham, broken, helpless, bleeding. I can almost taste it from my cell, the delicious taste of chaos spreading through the veins of the city like a poison, choking the life from the streets. The guards outside the door have forgotten about me. Oh, they're too busy panicking, running from the shadows. They didn't think about locking me up tight this time. Didn't think about me at all, did they? Oh no, they thought they had bigger things to worry about. Poor Gotham. Poor Arkham. Poor little lost souls. It's almost funny, really. They never learn. I step forward, the faint hum of the flickering lights above making my skin tingle. That hum, it's been there ever since I was brought back to this dump. But tonight, it's different. There's an energy in the air, something buzzing beneath the surface. And it's not just the electricity, oh no, it's the chaos seeping in from outside. I peer out of the narrow window on my cell door. The guard station is empty. No more tasers, no more guns. No more keys hanging on their little hooks, so carefully placed just out of my reach. Well, how convenient. I push the door. It creaks, groans a little, but it swings open just like that. No alarms. No angry voices yelling for me to get back inside. It's quiet, too quiet. I can feel the tension in the walls, the cracks spreading as Gotham breaks apart outside. The city is losing itself, and it doesn't even know it yet. I start walking. No rush. I want to savor this. Step by step, the silence grows louder. Every footstep echoes through the halls. I hear the drip of water somewhere. Drip. 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 Like the ticking of a clock. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. And all around me, empty cells, forgotten limbs, empty, like me. But not for long. Oh no, Gotham doesn't know it yet, but I'm coming home. And I've got plans. As I move through the asylum's corridors, I catch glimpses of the chaos outside through barred windows. Flames licking at the edges of the horizon. People screaming. I smile. This city used to belong to him, Batman, but he's gone now, isn't he? I killed him, you know. Not with my own hands, no, but in every way that counts. I broke him. And when I broke him, I broke this city, too. And now, there's no one left to stop me. I step outside, feeling the cold Gotham night on my face. It's been too long. The sky is burning red, clouds of smoke curling into the air like writhing serpents. I can smell the fear, oh, how it lingers in the air, thick and pungent. The streets are crawling with Bane's men, but they don't see me. They're too busy looting, smashing, tearing Gotham apart. I slip between them, a ghost, a shadow. And as I do, I realize something glorious. They don't fear me anymore. Oh, isn't it funny? Without him, without Batman, what am I? Just a broken man in a broken city. The Joker, the clown prince of crime, reduced to nothing more than a forgotten joke. But that's the thing about jokes, they always come back around, don't they? I walk through the heart of Gotham, feeling the city pulse beneath my feet. The streets hum with that beautiful, terrifying energy. I can feel the eyes of the city on me now, the whispers starting to build. The Joker's back. They don't know it yet, but they will. Oh, they will. Gotham will remember what fear feels like, what true fear is. But first, I need a stage. The laughter bubbles up inside me, a quiet chuckle at first, then louder until it spills out into the streets. I laugh until my sides hurt, until my throat burns, until I can hardly breathe. And when the laughter finally dies down, I know what comes next. Gotham thinks it's seen the worst, but the real show is about to begin. Bane may have broken its bones, but I'm going to break its mind. I stop at a corner, staring at a crumbling billboard above me. Wayne Enterprises, rebuilding Gotham's future, it says, half torn and covered in graffiti. I can't help but grin. The future, they say. Oh, Gotham's future is going to be bright. So very bright. I start walking again, this time toward a familiar place, one I haven't visited in far too long. Ace Chemicals. The birthplace of a legend. My legend. And as I walk, the plan starts forming in my head. A plan to remind Gotham of who I am. To remind them all that this city, this broken, bleeding city, still belongs to me. But it won't just be Gotham I break this time. There's a new boy in town. A fresh little bird who's taken up Batman's mantle. Dick Grayson. Nightwing, they call him now. Trying so hard to fill those big, empty boots. Poor little bird. I'm going to make him sing. Chapter 2, Shadows. Nightwing. A joke, really. He even chose a bird. Just like the bat, but without the bite, without the itch. Oh, this one thinks he's something. Something better, something purer. But underneath it all, I can see it. That little spark of doubt, that tiny, hidden flicker that he'll never be enough. No matter how hard he tries. I watch him. I always watch. From the rooftops, hidden in the creases of Gotham's broken skyline, I see him leap from shadow to shadow like a wannabe specter. He's so clean, so precise. Like a perfect, dull machine built to replace something far more interesting. He doesn't know the dance like we did, like Batman and I. Every move he makes, it's an imitation, a pale, lifeless echo. I grin, lighting a cigarette, the ember glowing faintly in the thick Gotham air. He doesn't see me, of course. He's too busy playing his little game of hero, darting from alley to alley, rescuing people who don't even care anymore. Gotham's moved on from heroes. Bane made sure of that. And now they've got something better to fear. The night is heavy tonight, thick with tension and the stench of something rotting deep beneath the surface. The city's in ruins. People scurrying like rats, afraid to step outside after dark. But our dear little bird, he's flapping about, pretending that hope still means something here. Pathetic. I take a slow drag, watching as he drops down into the alley below, taking out a few of Bane's leftover thugs. The punches, the kicks, they land with a crack, precise, controlled, efficient. Nightwing never misses. But it's all so predictable. Boring. Come on, Dickie, I whisper into the night. You're going to have to do better than that if you want to keep up with me. There's something different about Gotham now. Something festering in the cracks, in the places where people aren't looking. They think Bane's chaos was the worst of it? He only tore down the walls. I'm the one who's going to burn the foundation. I toss the cigarette into the gutter and start moving. The shadows wrap around me like an old friend, swallowing me up as I slink through the back alleys, keeping just out of sight. He's going to feel me soon. Oh yes, he'll feel me. This city's mine, and he's just a temporary inconvenience. I'll make sure he knows that. I don't strike yet, though. Oh no, this game's just beginning. I want him to see me first, to feel the eyes on the back of his neck, to hear the whispers in the dark corners of his mind. To wonder, to doubt. I want him to feel what it's like to be hunted. I leave small traces. Little breadcrumbs. Just enough to make him curious, but not enough to give myself away. A playing card left on a rooftop. A broken mirror in a place he's just patrolled. He'll see them. He'll know. And every time, that little spark of fear will get just a little bigger. He won't be able to help it. It's already starting. I can see it in the way he hesitates sometimes. The way he looks over his shoulder when he thinks no one's watching. Oh, this is going to be fun. As the night drags on, I move to higher ground, scaling the fire escape of an abandoned building overlooking Crime Alley. The place where it all began, right? Where the bat was born, where the city's fate was sealed. But tonight, it's where something new begins. Something darker. Something inevitable. From my vantage point, I can see him again, darting between the streets, a flash of blue and black. Always so sure of himself. Always so quick to act. But what happens when he's forced to slow down? When he doesn't know which way to turn? Which shadow to trust? I can feel my grin widening as I reach into my coat pocket and pull out a small, black device. A transmitter. Tiny, almost insignificant. But with the right push, the right timing. I press the button. Bang. A distant explosion echoes through the night, far enough away not to hurt him. Oh no, not yet, but close enough to make him stop. Close enough to make him feel it. The shockwave rattles through the streets, windows shattering, car alarms screaming. And there, right in the middle of the chaos, our little bird freezes. I see it. That moment of hesitation. He doesn't know what hit him. He doesn't know where it's coming from. Oh, but I do. The fun part is, I'm not there. Not at the scene of the crime. I'm right here, high above him, watching as he tries to piece it together. Tries to figure out what's happening. His head snaps in every direction, looking for answers for the threat he can't see. But there's nothing. Just shadows. Oh, Dickie boy, you should know better. This isn't about brute force. This isn't about fists and gadgets. No, no, this is about the mind. The doubt. The suspicion. You're so used to the light, aren't you? Used to having a direction. A clear goal. But what happens when there is no light? What happens when the very shadows you hide in start to close in on you? I can almost hear his heart racing from here. He thinks he's under attack. He thinks there's someone out there watching. And he's right. I laugh, a quiet chuckle that echoes through the hollowed-out building. Oh, I've missed this. The thrill of the game. The tension. The slow, creeping realization that I'm always 2 steps ahead. That no matter how fast he runs, no matter how hard he tries, I'll always be waiting in the dark. He moves again, faster this time, more frantic. He's on edge now. I can see it. His movements less precise, his breathing a little quicker. Good. That's it. I want him to feel the panic set in. I want him to question every decision. Because the moment he doubts himself, the moment he falters, that's when I strike. But not tonight. No, tonight's just the beginning. I retreat back into the shadows, leaving him to stew in his confusion, his fear. He won't find me. Not yet. I'll let him think he's safe for a little while longer. Let him believe that maybe, just maybe, he can win this game. But we both know the truth, don't we? This isn't his city. It never was. And soon, very soon, he'll realize that too. Chapter 3, Laughter. Do you hear it? That sound creeping in, bouncing off the walls of Gotham's crumbling streets? It's getting louder. It's everywhere, yet nowhere. A maddening, infectious laughter that seeps into the cracks of this dying city. It's my laughter. I've missed it, you know. I never really stopped laughing. Even in Arkham, with its gray walls and gray faces, the laughter was always there. But out here, in the open air of Gotham's chaos, it feels different. It feels alive. I move through the city, leaving pieces of myself behind, little reminders for Gotham to hold on to. Every corner I turn, there's a mark of my presence. A little something to get the blood flowing. The people here, they've forgotten what it's like to be afraid of something bigger than themselves. To feel the terror creeping up their spines. But they'll remember. Tonight, I'm going to show them. I start small, of course. No sense in spoiling the surprise. A body left in an alley, painted up in that delightful shade of white and red. A message scrawled on the walls in thick, dripping letters. Ah! Just enough to get the whispers going, to make them wonder, make them think. And then, I make it louder. The docks. A perfect place for a little performance, wouldn't you say? A few shipments here, some crooked dealers there, and suddenly, Gotham's underworld finds itself knee-deep in an unsolvable puzzle. Explosions, fires, a few missing limbs, it's chaos wrapped in a bow. Oh, the faces they make when it all goes wrong. The panic, the confusion, the sweat. But it's not just the lowlifes. No, Gotham's finest are about to get a taste too. I leave them a little surprise in the precinct. A box of chocolates, harmless at first glance, except for the ticking. And when they open it, expecting some childish prank, well, they'll find something a little less sweet. It's all just part of the plan, you see. All these little moves, these tiny acts of chaos, they're pulling at the seams of this city. And at the heart of it all, I hear it, the laughter. My laughter. But it's not just in my head anymore. It's everywhere. I see the panic starting to spread. The streets buzz with rumors, people whispering in the shadows. The Joker's back. He's playing games again. Ah, how they tremble at the thought. I feed off that fear. It's delicious. But I'm not done yet. Oh no, this is just the opening act. You see, I've got a bigger audience in mind. One that's been trying so hard to avoid the stage. That little bird, Dicky Boy. He's still out there, flapping around, trying to put out fires, trying to save a city that doesn't want to be saved. I've been watching him, you know. Every step he takes, every criminal he throws behind bars, he's trying so desperately to fill those big, empty shoes. But no matter how many times he puts on the mask, no matter how hard he swings his little sticks, there's something missing. And that's where I come in. Tonight's going to be special. Tonight, I'm going to get his attention. I pick a building, nothing too fancy, just an old, abandoned theater. It's poetic, really. A place where dreams used to be born, now turned into a husk of what it once was. Kind of like Gotham. Kind of like him. The stage is set. A few of Bane's leftover thugs tied up backstage, their faces painted with my signature smile. A spotlight dangling from the rafters, swaying back and forth like a pendulum. And me? I'm center stage, of course. Waiting. Watching. I know he'll come. He has to. Sure enough, I hear him before I see him. That heavy sound of boots hitting the pavement, the quick, controlled breathing of someone who's always on edge. He slips into the building like a shadow, thinking he's so stealthy, so clever. But I can see him. I can feel him. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I shout, my voice echoing through the empty theater. Tonight's performance is a real showstopper. He pauses, I can tell. He's trying to figure it out, trying to find the source of my voice. I laugh. A low, menacing chuckle that fills the room. He's playing right into my hands. Come on out, little birdie, I taunt, stepping into the light. It's just you and me tonight. No one else. No bat to hide behind. He steps forward, finally revealing himself, his eyes locked on me. There's something in those eyes. Something dark. But not dark enough. Joker, he growls. Ah, music to my ears. That's the spirit. I clap my hands together, grinning from ear to ear. Now, I know you've been a busy boy, trying to keep this city from falling apart. But look around, Dicky, it's already in pieces. And guess what? I'm the one holding all the strings. His jaw tightens. He's not afraid, not yet. He's angry. That's good. Anger is a start. But I need more. I need him to snap. What do you want? He demands, his voice hard, steady. I tilt my head, tapping my chin thoughtfully. What? Oh, that's a complicated question. I mean, sure, I could say I want Gotham. I could say I want chaos, destruction, mayhem, yada yada yada. But honestly, I take a step closer, my grin widening. I want you. He doesn't move, doesn't flinch. But I can see it. That flicker of uncertainty. That little bit of fear creeping in around the edges. You're not like him, you know, I continue, circling him slowly. You're softer, more malleable. I stop right behind him, close enough that I can almost hear his heartbeat. And that's what makes this so much fun. He spins, his fist swinging toward me, but I'm already gone, slipping back into the shadows with a laugh. Oh, come on, Dickie. You know better than to try and hit me. I'm not the punch you in the face kind of villain. I'm the kind that gets inside your head. The kind that makes you question everything. He's not listening anymore. He's charging, trying to corner me, trying to shut me up. But I'm always a step ahead, always just out of reach. He's playing my game now, and he doesn't even realize it. You think you can stop me? I shout, dodging his strikes. You think you can save this city? Let me tell you something, kid. Gotham doesn't want to be saved. It's broken, just like you. Just like me. That's why I hear it. That tiny, almost imperceptible sound. A crack. Not from his fists, not from the theater around us. From him. I stop, standing perfectly still as he glares at me, his chest heaving with exertion. Come on, Dickie boy, I whisper. Laugh with me. But he doesn't. Not yet. Chapter 4, Faces. A face. That's what Gotham's always needed, what it's always wanted. A face to fear. Something to look at and tremble. I gave them that once. I was that face. But now they're staring at a shadow. At him. At Nightwing. Another face. Another mask. It's time to break that. I've been busy, you know. You wouldn't believe the things you can dig up when you know where to look. Old memories, old friends, old scars. Gotham keeps its history buried deep, but I've always had a knack for digging up the past. And tonight, I'm going to bring it all back, every dark corner, every little secret, right into the light. Dickie boy doesn't like to talk about it, but I know the truth. I know who he is beneath that mask, beneath the wings and the gadgets. I know that no matter how many times he tries to step out of the bat's shadow, he'll never really escape it. That's the beauty of it. Identity is such a fragile thing. I'm sitting in the back room of a derelict apartment building, surrounded by photographs. Faces, all of them, staring back at me. Some familiar, some not. Some cracked, some still pristine. But they all tell a story. And in the center of it all, there's him, Grayson. The boy wonder, the sidekick, the protege. I chuckled to myself, running my fingers over one of the photos. A family picture. Smiling faces. So much hope back then. Funny how things change, isn't it? Time to remind you where you came from, Dickie, I whisper. The plan's simple, really. I know what scares him. I know what makes him tick. And tonight, I'm going to pull at every single thread until he unravels. I leave a trail for him, of course. A game of breadcrumbs, just like before. But this time, I'm not subtle. I want him to find me. I want him to see the faces. The faces he's tried so hard to forget. The first one is a gift. An old friend, someone from his past. Tied up, broken, waiting for him in the old circus grounds where it all started. Poor guy didn't even see it coming. But that's what makes it fun, isn't it? The surprise, the shock, the terror that comes with seeing someone you love broken. He'll find him. I made sure of that. And when he does, it'll be just the beginning. I'm watching from a distance, perched high above the circus, as Nightwing drops into the center of the ring. There's a hesitation in his movements. Good. That means he already knows something's wrong. He approaches the figure tied to the old wooden chair. The spotlight I rigged up swings lazily, casting long, eerie shadows across the empty stands. For a second, I think he's going to run. I can almost see the moment he recognizes the man, his old mentor from the circus. The one who helped him become who he is. I can see the emotion ripple through him, even from here. "Joker," he mutters under his breath. I can barely hear it, but I know. He's already saying my name. I smile. Oh, he's angry now. But it's not enough. Not yet. He unties the man, his hand shaking just slightly. The mask hides most of his face, but I don't need to see his expression to know what he's feeling. Confusion, pain, anger. It's all written in his body language. I can feel the weight of it from where I'm hiding. Where is he? He growls, looking around, his voice tight, strained. He knows I'm close. He can feel me. I step out of the shadows, just far enough for him to catch a glimpse of me before I disappear again. Just a flicker. Just enough to keep him on edge. "You've found one face, Dickie," I call out, my voice echoing through the empty space. But there are so many more to come. He tenses, spinning around, trying to locate me. But I'm already gone. Always one step ahead. "You can't outrun your past," I continue, my laughter bubbling up from the darkness. "No matter how many times you change your name, change your face, you'll always be you." The next face comes soon after. Another breadcrumb. This time, it's personal. One of Batman's old allies, someone Grayson used to work with. I leave them broken, tied up in one of the old buildings Wayne Enterprises once funded. Their face is painted, of course. Smiling wide, just like mine. Grayson is too late again. Always a step behind. By the time he finds them, the damage is already done. He's starting to crack. I can see it, feel it. I leave him messages this time. Notes, pictures. Things from his childhood. Things he thought he buried long ago. A picture of his parents smiling before the fall. A note from Bruce, back when he was training him to be Robin. Little mementos to stir up the past. And it's working. Oh, it's working. By the time he finds the third face, he's slipping. His punches are wild, his movements less calculated. He's starting to lose focus, starting to doubt. That's the key. That's what I want. Doubt. I meet him in person this time. Face to face. No more shadows, no more hiding. He's standing in the middle of the warehouse, breathing hard, his fists clenched. The third victim is still tied up, still painted, still smiling that grotesque smile I left for him. "Joker," he screams, the anger rolling off him in waves. I step into the light, grinning wide, my eyes gleaming with mischief. "There you are, Dickie boy. I was wondering when you'd show up. In front of you." He lunges at me, his fist swinging toward my face, but I'm too quick, dodging just out of reach. "Tisk, tisk," I say, wagging my finger. "Temper, temper. You're getting sloppy, Dickie. His breath comes out in ragged gasps, his eyes blazing with fury. But beneath that anger, I can see it. The fear. The doubt. He's questioning himself now. He's questioning everything. And that's the best part. Go ahead, Dick, I whisper, stepping closer, taunting him. Hit me. Prove that you're just like me. That you're just like him. For a moment, just a moment, I see it. That flicker of darkness in his eyes. That temptation to give in, to let go. To become something else. Something darker. But then it's gone. He pulls back, his jaw tight, his fists still clenched at his sides. I smile. You'll come around, Dickie boy. You'll see. You can't fight your true nature forever. I step back into the shadows, my laughter echoing through the warehouse as I disappear from sight. The game is only just beginning. Chapter 5, Silence. Do you feel it? The absence? It's quiet now. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that crawls under your skin, that makes you look over your shoulder. The kind that drives you mad. I've gone silent. No more games. No more messages. Nothing. It's not about what I'm doing, it's about what I'm not doing. The city's holding its breath, waiting for the punchline that never comes. And he feels it too. Nightwing. He's desperate now, looking for me, for the chaos I bring. But all he finds are empty streets, broken remnants of the people I've touched, and the creeping feeling that I'm still there, somewhere, watching. It's beautiful, really. I've played my part. Left my little breadcrumbs, danced him to the edge of breaking. And now I leave him alone with his thoughts. I sit in the old Ace Chemicals building, the place where it all began. The air here is thick with history, with memories. This is where I was born, after all. Where I became me. But tonight, it's just me and the silence. I can imagine it now, Gotham, torn between terror and relief. Where is he, they wonder? Has he gone? Has he finally disappeared? Oh, the fools. They don't understand that this is the game. I don't need to make a sound to be present. I'm everywhere, in every whisper, every shadow, every flicker of doubt. Silence is louder than any explosion. It's the waiting that breaks you. And Grayson, poor Dickie boy, he's feeling it now. I can see him from my perch, up high in the old bell tower, overlooking the city like a king of nothing. He's running himself ragged, chasing ghosts, barking at shadows. He knows I'm out there, he can feel it, but he can't find me. Every corner he turns, every alley he searches, it's always just empty. I smile. He's falling apart. The silence is the worst part, isn't it? The way it gets into your head, fills it with questions, doubts. He doesn't know what to expect anymore. Doesn't know when or where I'll strike next. And that's the trick, isn't it? It's not about the violence. It's not about the chaos. It's about the uncertainty. Grayson's used to fighting something he can punch, something he can see, but what happens when there's nothing to hit? Nothing to fight back against? He can't confront me, can't stop me, because I'm not there. Not in the way he wants me to be. It's been 3 days. 3 days of nothing. No explosions, no painted bodies, no messages scrawled in blood. The city's starting to relax. They think I'm gone. They think the worst is over. But he knows better. He knows this is far from over. I watch as he moves through the streets, slower now, more cautious. The exhaustion is starting to show. His shoulders slump just a little more each night. His eyes, once sharp and focused, are starting to betray him. He's tired. And the silence? Oh, it's eating away at him. He's been here before, you know. With Batman. The endless nights, the uncertainty, the fear. But back then, he had a safety net. He had someone to rely on. Now he's alone. And he's starting to crack. I make my next move subtle. Not an attack, not yet. Just a reminder that I'm still here. A little mark, something small. The kind of thing he'll notice, but no one else will. He finds it in one of the back alleys. A spray-painted smile. My smile. But it's fading, almost invisible against the grime of the city walls. A shadow of what it used to be. He stops, staring at it, and I can see the tension ripple through his body. His hand clenches into a fist, but he doesn't move. He just stands there, staring at that smile like it's taunting him. Like it's mocking him. Because it is. He knows what it means. He knows I'm still out there. And worse, he knows I'm watching. He can't see me, but I see everything. Nightwing's patrols are different now. Slower, less focused. He's not chasing criminals anymore, he's chasing me. Every rooftop he climbs, every shadow he passes, he's expecting to find me. But I'm not there. And that's what's driving him insane. The silence is making him question everything. Every decision, every action. He's not sure anymore. He's starting to doubt himself, starting to doubt if he's even capable of stopping me. And doubt? Doubt is the first crack in the armor. I've played this game before. I know how it ends. I leave another mark. Another breadcrumb. But this one is even smaller. A torn piece of an old photograph, left just outside his apartment. He won't know where it's from, not yet. It's just a face, an unrecognizable one, faded with time. But it's enough to get him thinking, enough to start turning the wheels in his head. I'm giving him just enough to keep him on edge, to keep him chasing. But the real fun? The real game? That's still to come. I know he's starting to spiral. He's stopped going to Gordon, stopped checking in with the few allies he has left. He's isolating himself, just like Batman used to. He's trying to handle it alone, trying to prove he's strong enough to bear the weight of Gotham on his shoulders. But he's not. Not yet. I'm breaking him, piece by piece, without ever laying a hand on him. That's the beauty of it. That's the art. And soon? Oh, soon, the silence will be broken. But not by me. By him. Chapter 6, Broken. It starts with a sound. Faint at first, like a whisper on the wind. The kind of sound that lingers in the back of your mind, just quiet enough to make you doubt whether you even heard it at all. A laugh. But this time, it's not mine. Oh no, it's his. He doesn't know it yet, but he's already broken. The silence has done its job. Grayson's mind is fraying at the edges, unraveling piece by piece. He's been chasing shadows, searching for a threat that's always just out of reach, and now I'm about to hand him what he's been dreading all along. The silence ends tonight. With a bang. It happens at midnight, of course. Gotham's deadliest hour. The streets are still, the air heavy with the kind of tension that only comes before something terrible. I made sure of that. I've been planning this for days, laying the groundwork, preparing the stage. But tonight, it's not just another show, it's the final act in this little game of ours. Grayson thinks he's ready. He's been waiting for me to strike, sharpening his anger, trying to keep his focus. But he doesn't realize I've already won. This isn't a battle he can fight with his fists, or his gadgets, or his training. This is a battle of the mind. And in that battlefield, he's hopeless. I've chosen my venue carefully, an old amusement park, abandoned long ago, rotting away in the shadow of Gotham's skyline. The perfect place for a nightmarish reunion. The rides creak in the wind, rusted and forgotten, just like the memories I'm about to dig up. I know he'll come. He always does. The moment he arrives, I watch from the shadows, grinning as I see him approach cautiously. He's tense, his eyes scanning every corner, every broken down ride, every flickering light. He's expecting a fight. But this isn't about fighting. The funhouse is where it begins. I rigged it with mirrors, warped reflections of everything he fears. Each step he takes through those halls, he's confronted with himself, distorted, twisted versions of who he's tried so hard to be. A hero. A protector. A lie. He sees it, too. His face in the mirrors, stretched and grotesque. His parents' faces flash behind the glass, their eyes wide with fear, their mouths twisted into those same awful smiles I've left for him. He doesn't say a word, but I can see the tension building in his jaw, the way his fists clench at his sides. He's not running anymore. But that doesn't mean he's winning. I watch from above, laughing softly as I guide him deeper into the funhouse, into the heart of the maze. Every turn he makes leads him closer to the center, to what I've been saving for him. And when he steps into that final room, he sees her. Tied to a chair, her face painted in that grotesque smile, just like the others. But this time, it's different. This time, the person tied to the chair isn't a stranger from his past or a shadow from his childhood. This time, it's Barbara. I can hear the sharp intake of breath as he sees her, as he realizes what I've done. His mask cracks, just for a second, but it's enough. Joker, he growls, his voice low and dangerous. But there's something else beneath it now. Panic. I step into the room, my grin wide, my heart pounding with excitement. Oh, this is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Welcome, welcome, I say, my voice bright and cheerful. I thought it was time we had a little family reunion, don't you? His eyes flicker between me and Barbara, and I can see the calculation in his mind. He's trying to figure out how to get to her, how to stop me, how to fix this. But there's no fixing this. There never was. What do you want? He spits, his voice shaking with barely contained rage. I laugh, stepping closer, the funhouse lights flickering wildly around us. What? Oh, Dickie, I thought you knew by now. It's not about what I want. It's about what you need to learn. He moves then, fast, lunging toward me, his fists flying. But I'm ready. I'm always ready. I sidestep easily, watching as he stumbles, catching himself before crashing into the mirrors lining the walls. The tension in the room is thick, suffocating, but I thrive in it. You think you can save her? I ask, my voice soft now, almost a whisper. You think you can save anyone? He glares at me, but I can see the doubt creeping in. The fear. He's not sure anymore. He's questioning himself, questioning his ability to stop me, to stop the inevitable. Let her go, he says, his voice tight, controlled. But I can hear the cracks in it, the way it trembles just slightly. I smile, taking another step closer to him. Let her go? I echo. But what would be the fun in that? I glance over at Barbara, her eyes wide with fear, her hands bound tightly to the chair. She doesn't say a word, but I can see the pain in her expression, the terror she's trying so hard to suppress. Grayson moves again, faster this time, his fists connecting with my jaw. Pain explodes across my face, and for a moment, everything blurs. But I'm laughing, oh, I'm laughing because it's working. He's losing control. You think hitting me will change anything? I taunt, wiping the blood from my mouth, still grinning. You think violence will save her? He hits me again, harder this time, but it doesn't matter. I've already won. Because this isn't about me. It's about him. About what he's willing to do. How far he's willing to go. I step back, raising my hands in mock surrender, my laughter echoing through the funhouse. Go ahead, Dickie. Hit me. Beat me to a pulp. But it won't change what's coming. He pauses, his breath coming out in ragged gasps, his fists still clenched. He's teetering on the edge now, caught between the person he's tried so hard to be and the monster I'm pulling him toward. You don't have to do this, Barbara says, her voice weak, shaking. But it's enough to snap him back to reality, just for a moment. He lowers his fists, stepping back, his eyes darting between me and her. And that's when I strike. Not with my fists, but with my words. The final blow. You'll never save them, I say, my voice soft, barely more than a whisper. Not her. Not Gotham. Not yourself. His face pales, his eyes wide with shock. He knows I'm right. He's known it all along. He moves toward Barbara, frantically untying her as I watch, smiling. It doesn't matter what happens next. I've planted the seed, and it's already growing inside him, twisting, corrupting. Because this isn't about saving Gotham. This isn't about saving anyone. It's about breaking him. As they leave the funhouse, I linger behind, watching their retreating figures. The silence that follows is deafening, but it's not the same as before. This silence is victory. I've broken him. Not with violence. Not with chaos. But with doubt. And soon enough, that doubt will consume him. Just like it consumed Batman. Chapter 7, Madness. It's all falling apart. Gotham, Grayson, everything. And I'm at the center of it, pulling the strings, watching the pieces shatter around me. Madness. That's what they call it, right? But what is madness, really? Is it a lack of reason? Or is it simply seeing the truth that no one else can see? I've always wondered about that. And now, I think Grayson's starting to understand. He's been trying to hold it all together, clinging to this idea of order, of heroism, but he's slipping. I can see it in his eyes, feel it in the way he moves. He's becoming unhinged, just like his precious city. It's beautiful. I started small. Just a few sparks here and there, enough to stir up the chaos. Fires in the Narrows, explosions in the industrial district. the kind of violence Gotham's grown used to. But this time, it's different. This time, it's not random. It's coordinated, deliberate. And every time Grayson shows up to put out the flames, he's greeted by a reminder of me. A smile painted on the wall. A body left hanging from a rooftop, twisted in one of my signature poses. The police have no idea what to do with it, of course. They're running around like headless chickens, and Grayson? He's running himself into the ground trying to stop it. But the thing about chaos? You can't stop it. You can't fight it. It just is. I've got my men scattered across the city now, little pieces of my puzzle, each one doing exactly what they need to do. A bombing here, a kidnapping there, all perfectly timed to keep Grayson off balance. But I've saved the best for last. Tonight, I've arranged something special. A grand finale, if you will. It's not just another night of chaos, it's the night Gotham breaks. I'm sitting in the clock tower, high above the city, watching the chaos unfold below. The fires have spread, lighting up the night like a hellish canvas, and the screams of Gotham's citizens rise up like a symphony. But Grayson's not at the heart of it. No, I've led him somewhere else. Somewhere more personal. The old Wayne Manor. It's been abandoned since Bruce's disappearance, left to rot like a ghost of Gotham's past. But tonight, it's where it all ends. I've left him a trail, of course. More bodies, more messages, leading him right to me. And as I sit here, waiting, I can already feel him closing in. When he arrives, I'm standing in the middle of the grand hall, surrounded by the remnants of Bruce's old life. Dusty furniture, broken chandeliers, the tattered remains of what once was. Grayson steps into the room, his face shadowed beneath his mask, but I can see the exhaustion in his posture, the anger simmering just beneath the surface. "Joker," he says, his voice tight with rage. "Ah, there you are," I say, spreading my arms wide, grinning. "I was wondering when you'd show up. Took you long enough." He takes a step forward, his fists clenched, his whole body radiating tension. "This ends tonight." I laugh, the sound echoing through the empty hall. "Oh, Dickie, you're so predictable. Always thinking in terms of beginnings and endings. But that's not how this works. This is forever." He doesn't respond. Not with words, anyway. He lunges at me, his fists flying, but I'm ready. I dodge, ducking under his strike, and laugh again. "You really think you can fight me?" I taunt, circling around him. "You're not Batman. You'll never be him." That gets to him. I see it in the way he falters, just for a second, the way his eyes flash with doubt. But he recovers quickly, swinging at me again, this time with more force, more desperation. I let him hit me this time. His fist connects with my jaw, and I feel the pain explode through my skull, but I'm still laughing. Because it doesn't matter. None of this matters. "You don't get it, do you?" I say, wiping the blood from my mouth, still grinning. This city, it doesn't need a hero. It doesn't want one. Gotham thrives on chaos. And you? You're just a piece of the puzzle. He doesn't respond. He just keeps coming, his punches wild and unfocused. He's losing control. And that's exactly what I want. As we fight, the grand hall crumbles around us. The old chandeliers swing wildly, the windows shatter from the pressure, and the very foundation of the manor seems to groan in protest. It's like the city itself is screaming for release. And in the chaos, I can see it. Grayson's breaking. You can't win, I say, my voice cutting through the noise. Not against me. Not against this. He stops for a moment, breathing hard, his eyes locked on mine. I don't need to win, he says, his voice low, dangerous. I just need to stop you. I laugh again, louder this time. Stop me? Oh, Dickie, you can't stop chaos. You can't stop the inevitable. Gotham doesn't need you. It doesn't need Batman. It needs me. I can see the conflict in his eyes, the way my words are worming their way into his mind. He's questioning himself, questioning his place in this city, in this fight. You're just like him, I say, stepping closer, my voice soft now, almost tender. You're both trying so hard to keep the darkness at bay, to hold on to something that's already gone. But you can't. You'll never be able to. Because Gotham is mine. And then, just as he's about to strike again, the sound of explosions rips through the air. The city outside lights up in a blaze of fire and destruction, the chaos spreading like wildfire. Grayson freezes, his eyes widening in shock as he turns to look out the shattered windows, seeing the city he's sworn to protect fall apart around him. I step up beside him, my grin wide, my heart pounding with excitement. Beautiful, isn't it? I whisper. This is what Gotham is. This is what it's always been. He doesn't respond. He just stands there, staring at the destruction, his fists trembling at his sides. And in that moment, I know I've won. Because this isn't about the city. This isn't about the chaos. This is about breaking him. About showing him the truth. You can't save them, I say, my voice barely more than a whisper. You can't save any of them. And for the first time since this game began, I see it in his eyes. Defeat. As the explosions continue to rock the city, I step back, leaving him standing there, staring at the chaos he can't control, the destruction he can't stop. And I laugh. Because in the end, that's all there is. Madness. Chapter 8, Night. The night has a weight to it. Heavy. Pressing. A blackness that suffocates the city, wrapping it in chaos and despair. Gotham is burning, tearing itself apart in a storm of fire, screams, and destruction. And at the heart of it all stands the final act, the last confrontation between me and the little bird who thought he could fly. I watch him approach, his steps slow, deliberate. He's been chasing me for so long now, trying to catch a shadow, trying to stop something that can't be stopped. He's exhausted, barely keeping himself together, but his eyes, they're still sharp, still burning with that stubbornness that I've been trying to snuff out since this all began. But tonight, we finish this. We meet in the ruins of Gotham's financial district. Broken glass, crumbling buildings, fires flickering in the distance, it's a perfect stage for our last dance. The city lies in ruins around us, the streets abandoned, the only sounds the distant wails of sirens and the crackle of flames. He's drawn to this place, to the chaos I've unleashed. He always comes when the city cries out for help. I stand in the middle of the street, my grin wide, my eyes alight with anticipation. He's close now, moving through the shadows like the bat he once followed. But this time, there's no Bruce to guide him. No safety net. Just him and me. I hear the flutter of his cape before I see him. And when he steps into the dim light of a nearby fire, I laugh. Oh, I laugh because it's perfect. He's wearing the mask, the suit, trying to be the hero Gotham needs, but all I see is a boy pretending to be something he's not. Late to the party, Tiki boy, I say, my voice echoing through the empty street. You missed all the fun. He doesn't respond. Not right away. He just stands there, staring at me, his face hidden beneath that ridiculous mask. But I can feel his anger, his frustration. It's radiating off him in waves. He's holding it back, keeping himself in check, but I can tell he's right on the edge. Let's end this, he finally says, his voice low, controlled. But I can hear the cracks in it. He's breaking. I smile, taking a slow step forward, the madness bubbling up inside me. And it? Oh, Tiki, you still don't get it, do you? This isn't something that ends. This is forever. He moves then, faster than I expected, his fist crashing into my jaw before I can dodge. The impact sends me stumbling back, but I'm laughing. Oh, how I'm laughing, because he's finally doing it. He's finally letting go. You think that'll stop me? I taunt, wiping the blood from my mouth, my grin never fading. Go ahead, hit me again. Let's see how much you're willing to give up. He doesn't hesitate. He lunges at me, his fists flying, and I barely manage to duck under his next punch. He's not holding back anymore. He's letting the anger, the fear, the chaos drive him. And that's exactly what I wanted. Come on. I shout, my voice filled with manic glee. Hit me. Hit me harder. Show me what you're really capable of. He grabs me by the collar, slamming me against the wall of a crumbling building, his face inches from mine. I'm not like you, he growls, his voice shaking with rage. But I can see it. The doubt. The cracks. I laugh in his face. Aren't you? Look at yourself, Dick. You're just like me. You're driven by the same darkness, the same chaos. You've been fighting it all this time, but deep down, you know it's true. He hesitates, his grip on my collar tightening, but he doesn't strike. Not yet. He's teetering on the edge, caught between who he thinks he should be and who he really is. And all I need is one more push. You think you're better than him? Better than Bruce? I whisper, my voice soft now, almost tender. You're just a shadow, Dick. A shadow pretending to be something more. But you'll never be him. And you'll never save this city. His fist trembles, hovering inches from my face. For a moment, I think he's going to do it. I think he's finally going to snap. But then, he lets go. I stumble forward as he releases me, my laughter ringing out through the empty street. Oh, you're so close, Dickie. So close to becoming what you were always meant to be. He steps back, shaking his head, trying to pull himself together, but I can see it. I can see the doubt in his eyes, the way his hands shake as he clenches them into fists. He's not sure anymore. He's not sure of anything. And that's the beauty of it. You think Gotham wants a hero? I shout, spreading my arms wide, my grin stretching across my face. This city thrives on chaos. It needs me, Dick. It needs someone to show it the truth. That none of this matters. Not your rules, not your codes, not your morals. I take a step toward him, my voice softening again, turning into a whisper. You're just like me. And you know it. He doesn't respond. He just stands there, staring at me, his fists clenched at his sides, his whole body trembling with the weight of it all. He wants to fight it, wants to hold on to the idea that he's better than me, but deep down, he knows the truth. He's already lost. For a moment, the world seems to stop. The fires in the distance burn quietly, the city's screams fading into the background. It's just the two of us now, standing in the ruins of Gotham, locked in this eternal struggle. And then, without warning, he moves. He lunges at me, his fist crashing into my jaw with a force I didn't expect. The impact sends me sprawling to the ground, my head spinning, but I'm laughing. Oh, I'm laughing because it's finally happening. He's giving in. I roll to my feet, still laughing, blood dripping from my mouth as I face him. That's it, Dickie. Let it out. Show me what you really are. He doesn't hesitate this time. He charges at me, his fists flying, and I barely manage to block his punches. But he's relentless, his anger fueling him, driving him forward with a fury I've never seen before. I'm losing, and I love it. The fight is brutal. It's messy. It's everything I wanted. Grayson's punches are wild, unrestrained, and for the first time, I see the darkness in him, the same darkness that's always been in me. But then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops. He stands over me, breathing hard, his fists still clenched, but he doesn't strike. He's shaking, his whole body trembling with the effort of holding himself back, but he doesn't finish it. I laugh weakly, blood staining my teeth as I look up at him. You can't do it, can you? He says nothing, just stares down at me, his chest heaving, his eyes filled with something I can't quite place. You're not like him, I whisper, my voice barely more than a rasp. You'll never be him. For a long moment, neither of us moves. The city burns around us, the night heavy with the weight of everything that's happened, and in that moment, it feels like time itself has stopped. And then, he walks away. I watch him go, my laughter echoing through the ruins of Gotham as he disappears into the darkness. I didn't break him, but I didn't need to. The night hangs heavy, the fire's still burning in the distance, and as I lie there, battered and bleeding, I realize something. It's not about winning or losing. It never was. It's about the joke. And tonight, the joke's on him. Thanks for joining us on this dark journey through the Killing Joke. If you're eager for more twisted tales, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Make sure to hit that bell below so you don't miss out on the next chapter of Gotham's chaos. Check out the other stories on the channel and leave a comment letting us know what you thought and what stories you'd like to explore next. Your feedback shapes our next adventure.